Let's see how we can take a basic newsstand display, add some LEDs, and turn this into something that's really cool for our display for our cities. Now, first of all, when we're going to put an LED in, we can't just put it randomly because it's going to stick out. So the trick is to hide the LED out of sight until it switches on. Now, there is a bit of a giveaway on here because if you look at the hole, there's not much we can do. Obviously, on the right hand side of the video you can see the LED and the resistors. We'll get into that later, but I'm zooming in over here on a red stool, and behind it is a little red container and what looks like a white transparent container with a blue lid. That container we're going to use for the LED. We're going to see how cool it fits inside there. From behind the display we can see the LEDs and the resistor and the draw bit we're going to be using for the conversion over here for the installation of the LED. And now we can see up close that red and transparent containers we're talking about resting on the green bricks. We're going to have to take that out obviously to drill the holes, but we'll take you through that shortly. Okay, we're going to remove the canister now to take out the entire brick because they have to get holes through them. There you can see up close the transparent one we're going to take off. That's where the LED is going to go in. And there we go. That's the block that we're going to convert. Okay. This is going to get fun now. I'm just going to walk you through some of the components quickly. We're looking at a 65 ohm resistance. You need this if you're running 4.5 volts for the LEDs. You'll need one of these per LED on the leg. Here's a standard high glow LED. It doesn't look very impressive, but wait till she lights up. Now what lots of people don't realize is that the LEDs fit perfectly inside the Lego. Check this out. Goes from there, inside there, and it slips right in. So it's quite snug. And now the LEDs effectively hidden away. Once it's in, it doesn't really want to come out again, which is a good thing, I guess. Okay, so there you go, one inserted LED. Now there's a lot of other places you can put LEDs into too. For example, you can look for blocks with little holes in, so you can stick it like that. Other favorites that I used to do as well is if you want to put little borders around your Lego, you can feed them inside there, for example. It also works really nicely. So there's a lot of different ways you can hide your LEDs. Later we'll get into how to sort of light up your buildings. We'll make the bank lighter for Mr. Burns, and we're going to have some fun. But anyway, back to the project. The newsstand must light up. Okay, next we take a normal sort of drill, and to stop the Lego block from getting stuck on the draw bit, because this has happened before, I'll normally put it onto one of my plates so that it's nice and firm and secure, and then I hope it doesn't come loose. Okay, let's see if we're in for some drama. Now, where I'm putting the bit down, that's obviously where I want to put the hole through. And you hold it still and steady, and there you can see it spinning. Okay, we don't want that happening really, so we try and hold on to it. And there we go. Now we need that hole a little bit bigger as well, but before we go any further, we're going to pause the video and then change draw bits. Okay, we've taken the stand a bit more apart, lifted it up there. There's the bricks with the hole. Okay, this has to come in over here. And the best way to make sure this hole goes all the way through correctly lined up with this over here, must be correctly lined up with him, is to put this back quickly. I'm just going to put a supporting block there so it doesn't come loose and jump around too much, hopefully. And then we put the drill bit through there, and it's automatically lined up with the hole that I've originally done. Now, I've lifted up the base plate a bit, you'll see why now. You see that sudden little lurch? If I don't lift it up, I'm not going to feel the drill actually going through the base plate, which means you can put an unwanted hole through your desk. You don't want that. So always make sure that underneath here, you've got something that you can actually have as a safeguard that you don't damage your plate beneath it or drill into your desk as well. And if I take this off, there's my holes. Next step is we're going to wire up the LED, test it, and hopefully we have light. There we go. Okay. Okay, we just about is solder now. If we look over here carefully, we can see there's the LED. I've just got it sort of held in place here with the Lego bricks just to make it easier so I can show you what's happening. There you can see the resistor, 65 ohms, works well for 4.5 volts. 4.5 volts, I use 3 AA batteries. Make sure your polarity is right, but we'll come into that again later. And then over here, that's just again, just to hold it again in place. Now we're going to get a normal soldering iron, something like this. And you can see there, check the smoke. Okay, we're going to quickly drop a bit of solder on here. Okay, excuse the smokes there. Don't breathe this in, it's not very healthy. Make sure the soldering iron doesn't touch the plastic, it will burn the plastic, which is A, not cool, and B, gives off a poisonous smell as well, not very good for your lungs. Okay, and the last little puff of smoke is going to go in over here. There we go, make it nice and neat. I'll do a little drop there, and we're in position. Okay, next up we're going to insulate it so that the two different parts over here, the legs they call them, the pins, don't short circuit against each other. In other words, this and this mustn't contact, because if it makes contact, it's not going to light. Okay, and then we'll stick it inside and make it work for you. All right. There you can see over here now I've got the insulation tape on there. That's just to make sure the wires don't touch. And I can take a normal scissors, cut it to make it a bit more neater. Same for the other one on the other side here. You can see it's a bit untidy. We just trim it a bit there. And the next step is to feed it through the hole. That's when the fun starts. All right. Okay, the next challenge is to get these those two wires through that little hole there. And that's quite a mission because obviously they're not going to fit very snug. So what I do is I take a scissors. Luckily it's flex, so it's very, very soft. And I cut it into a little point like that. So it's got a nice sharp point. Now that point feeds through much easier into the hole. So if I take this now like that, and I feed it through here, you'll notice it goes through a lot easier to the other side. And then it comes out, and you're just going through, and then you feed this through there as well, and then you'll see the end result shortly with the LED sitting on the top. Okay, and there we can see it's assembled, everything back to where it was. I'm going to just temporarily connect the wires over there so you can see it light up, and it's going to hopefully look something like this. Huge difference, eh? And Lego City has light. Put a bit of the background off. You can see it gets better. And if you put the main lights off as well now in the house, you're going to get something like this. Quite incredible the intensity that it gives, eh? And that'll light up with a whole lot of others, your Lego display really, really nicely. Hope you enjoyed this so far, and yeah, enjoy. And when it's night time and your bus comes in, you can see it nicely. It illuminates everything for you. Even the background works quite nicely. You can see quite nicely there. Lights up the buildings across the road. So LEDs, lots of fun, 4.5 volts. Enjoy.